Hey guys, today I'm going to explain the last episode of Miss Night and Day Season 1, which is episode 16. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, the link is available in the description. The episode begins with a scene where Ainch sees Mizun changing and later asks her how she is there and where her aunt went since she was supposed to be there too. However, Mizun tells her mother that she will not return and that she knows this well. She tells her mother to let her rest in peace. Ainch, confused, asks what happened to her daughter. Later, Mizun starts crying. In the next scene, we see a court trial where someone is sentenced to several years in prison. Afterward, a scene shows some people discussing that Mizun might not attend the trial. Someone else comments that she might appear because she has been called, but another character insists she won't come, saying she has her reasons. At this point, another character, Cheney, joins them and says that Mizun will indeed appear at the trial, and she also wants to see what Mizun is and how she is, because someone is doing everything to protect her. The scene shifts to Saison, who is at home, reflecting that she will do whatever it takes to become normal. She makes a list where the first task is to take her parents to the hospital, then to quit drinking, care for her cats, go out with her parents, and take photos with them. She also adds helping her mum to the list. Saison eventually falls asleep while making the list. Later, her mum comes, sees the list, wakes Saison up, and tells her they are going somewhere. When Saison asks where, her mum says they are going to Suman's place. Saison shouts that she has already accepted everything and nothing will happen, but she must do something before growing old. Saison says she will stay with her mum and eventually die. Ainch also asks why she is talking about death, and then Saison cries, saying she has wrinkles on her face. In the next scene, a character named Anup sees this and brings cream, asking Saison to apply it. Later, Saison calls someone named Ganga, asking them to take her somewhere. The next scene shows Saison at a clinic getting a facial treatment, while the doctor seems to think she is Mizun's mother. They take photos together. Later, Saison goes out and has a conversation where she recalls doing something while working with Jeev. They all end up at a restaurant, and Saison realizes she had been there before. Gaia, another character, notices that Saison is upset and asks her what's wrong. Saison tells her that when she was working, she had been there before. Gaia responds that she didn't know Saison had chosen that place. Saison reflects on how much she loved her job, but now she feels differently and wants to do something about it. In the next scene, Mizun is seen studying, indicating that this is something she wants to pursue. Mizun then goes outside to wait for a bus. The episode shows Jeev outside Mizun's house, and her parents notice this. They comment that he has returned. Saison hands him food, asking him to give it to Jeev, and then we see a conversation where one character insists that Jeev didn't need to come, but Jeev says there was no need for anyone to worry. "I was about to leave, but I came to meet you," Jeev says. Anup replies, "You did well," and then offers him food. Jeev says he should go, but just then, Anup looks at his phone and sees a message from Mizun saying she is on her way. Anup tries to keep Jeev there by suggesting they have some drinks, but Jeev declines, saying he can't because he has to drive. Anup then suggests they exercise together instead. They spend quite some time exercising, but Mizun still hasn't arrived. Eventually, Jeev says he should leave, and Anup reluctantly agrees. Jeev leaves, but just as he does, Mizun arrives and angrily asks her parents about what happened. Anup is upset and says, "That girl!" Mizun then asks her mum what happened, but her mum says she doesn't know. Mizun heads to her room, recalling how she saw Jeev talking to her father when she was coming home. Mizun then hides away, and Jeev drives off. In the present, Mizun tells herself she needs to focus only on what she wants to do. She then starts studying. Meanwhile, we see another character, Bom, in his office looking at a ring. Just then, Jam arrives and asks what's going on. Bom notices that someone is selling the ring for a very low price and contacts the seller. The seller turns out to be a character named Yo, whom we saw in episode 1. Yo gives the ring to Bom, who inspects it and feels something isn't right. However, Yo explains that he bought it for his ex, but they broke up and never wore the ring, so he's offering it at a discount. Bom agrees and starts transferring the money, but just then, Jeev arrives and grabs Yo, saying, "I knew it was you." Jeev then tells Bom that Yo is a scammer who has scammed people before. Yo tries to run and Bom chases after him while Jeev watches. Jeev then calls the police, saying he has caught a scammer and asks them to come and take him away. Later, Jeev and Bom are driving together, and Jeev advises Bom to be more careful and not to deal with people directly like that, asking, "What if he had taken your money?" Bom remains silent and upset. Later, Bom gives Jeev a gift, which turns out to be a certificate. Jeev looks at it happily and says, "I love you," but Bom interrupts, saying it's his farewell gift. Jeev gets upset and shouts, "Where are you going without me?" In the next scene, we see Mizoon with her mother and Gaia, enjoying their time together. Mizoon reflects on how she hates being young because people think being young means you can do anything, but there are many things you can't do. She says she would rather leave her youth behind. In the final scene, Mizoon is asleep at night and suddenly sees her mother, Suman, sitting beside her. Mizoon gets up and Suman says she is leaving. Mizoon, confused, asks, "Are you really going? This feels strange. I thought I would be happy." Suman replies, "Didn't you want me to go?" Mizoon says, "I did, but I don't know what to do." Suman tells her to do what she came here to do and what she truly wants to do. "I did my work, and you helped me," Mizoon says. Mizoon replies, "It's not like that. I wasn't capable of doing it." Emus responds, "You're wrong. I was able to do my work because of you. Do you know what it's like to grow old? You can still love, make new friends, and have fun. You should work hard. Mizoon, you were a gift to me." Emus then adds, "I've been with you all along, but you realized it only after a long time. Now, I'm leaving." Emus leaves, and morning arrives. Mizoon notices that she hasn't changed and feels better. In the next scene, Jeev is shown packing his belongings with another character, Imad, who is admiring a plant and says, "This plant is really nice." Zomi looks at the plant and tells Imad to ask Gaia how Mizoon is doing and then let him know. The next scene takes place in court, where a trial for Sika has begun. Everyone is waiting for Thane Samji to arrive, but she doesn't show up. Instead, Paramiji enters and gives her testimony. Zeena, looking around, asks who she is looking for, mentioning that Jeev isn't here anymore. Zeena says, "He's gone." The judge then announces the verdict, sentencing Yasam to death. Yasam protests, saying, "This can't be. I will appeal." Apam, who is also present, tells Yasam that even death is too lenient a punishment for her, as she killed her sister. "You are not a human being, you are a demon. You won't even find a place in hell," she says. In the next scene, Jeev is shown with Bimad, who is riding a bike. They approach a bar where Jeev sees someone he assumes to be Ammaz riding a bicycle. However, in reality, it's Mizoon, who is watching Jeev leave. The following scene shows Mizoon's family at home, enjoying themselves. During the conversation, one of the family members teases Mizoon, asking, "What are you going to do next? I heard you quit your job." Mizoon responds by saying that she is preparing for the civil service exam. Her mother, Bisi, questions her, saying, "Why are you doing this? I'm tired of hearing about civil service." But Mizoon insists, "I have to do it. I want to do what I love. Even if I fail, I won't regret it." At that moment, Jam arrives, overhears the conversation, and then leaves quietly. Later, Mizoon steps outside and drinks, but then she notices her plant sitting nearby. She picks up the plant and looks around. The next scene shifts to a shootout where new workers have arrived, and they are being briefed by Malka on their work. The conversation reveals that they have heard about someone who has become very famous. They recount how someone saved another person and caught a criminal. In the next scene, Kon is seen giving an interview. His break has ended, and he recalls a time when Mizoon told him, "Having a friend like you makes me very confident." Kon also mentions that things with Jeev aren't over, and he is trying his best to get to him. The scene shifts to Gayan and Bed, who are drinking together. Gayan asks Bed what's wrong, and he replies, "Today, I lost all my colour." Gayan consoles him, and then Bed proposes to her, showing her a ring and asking her to accept it. Gayan replies, "I can't just accept it, you have to put it on me." Bed does as she says, and they embrace. Later, Dev asks Gayan how Mizun is doing, and Gayan tells him that she is preparing for the civil service exam. Someone mentions that he is doing well. 6 months later, Jeev arrives in Seoul with his friend and they are eating together, but no one is sitting with them. Kalesh, also known as a Panbak, asks Jeev if he has just returned from Shivan, but notices that no one is around him. Jeev replies, "So what? I worked very hard and accomplished a lot. Is there something wrong with working hard?" Later, Yan Bak sees a girl and says, "She's my colleague and works with me, but she's not filling out any forms." 2 girls approach them and Devi Ji realizes that it's Mizun. Mizun also sees Jeev. Yan Bak invites Mizun to sit, and Jeev watches her. Mizun's friend, who is with her, tells them that Mizun is a great person, mentioning that they went to school together. Jeev suggests that they should go on a date, but Mizun refuses, saying that she already has plans. Yan Bak asks, "What plans?" Jeev responds, "I want to meet someone I like." Yan Bak asks who that person is, and later he teases Mizun about having a boyfriend, but she doesn't respond. The next scene shows Mizun working, with a plant placed nearby. Yan Bak notices this, and later approaches her, offering concert tickets and asking if they should go out. Mizun declines, and just then, Jing arrives and notices them. Yan Bak asks Mizun to go on a date with him, but she refuses, saying she doesn't date her colleagues and hates doing so. Jing intervenes and tells Yan Bak that he is violating the law and that he should file a complaint. Yan Bak leaves, and Mizun looks at Jeev and asks if he needs something. Jeev first looks at the plant and is happy. He then says, "I'm curious about something. Why can't you go on a date with a colleague? Do you hate it?" Mizun replies, "I didn't say I hate it," but Jeev insists that he heard her say that. Mizun explains, "It depends on who is asking." Jeev, feeling happy, says, "So you're rejecting him?" Just then, Jeev pricks his hand on the plant and starts shouting. Mizun rushes to him and asks why he touched it. In the next scene, both of them are outside, and Mizun is removing the thorns from Jeev's hand. Jeev asks Mizun why she didn't reply when he asked if she had a boyfriend. She reminds him that he said he had plans to meet someone he likes, and Jeev admits that the person he was talking about is sitting right in front of him. Mizun says she doesn't have a boyfriend, and Jeev kisses her. Mizun is worried that someone might see them, but Jeev assures her that no one is around. He then tells her how hard it was for him to wait and how much he missed her. They kiss again. Later they are walking together, and Jeev suggests that they should go on a night walk. Mizun asks, "Why at night? Can't you see I'm Mizun? Were you joking with me?" Jeev wonders how things changed so suddenly and how she has changed, but Mizun replies, "I don't know, but we are fine now." Suddenly they hear someone calling Jeev's name. He turns around, but no one is there. Jeev asks Mizun if she heard anything, but she denies it. They continue walking, commenting on the beautiful weather, and start laughing. The episode ends, marking the conclusion of the drama. So guys, we will meet again with a new Korean drama. Until then, goodbye.